So I hate to be a princess and complain about my food, but this was the worst chicken sandwich I have ever had. Hey everyone, it's me, Katie-Beth again. And today's adventure comes from the suggestion of one of my subscribers, Ian. So I had been previously misinformed on where the first Carl's Jr. had started and where it was located. And as it turns out, as Ian told me, the first Carl's Jr. is in Anaheim, California, which is in the same birthplace as Disneyland. So a little Carl's Jr. history before we head out and experience what it's all become. Carl's Jr. is credited to have been founded in 1941 when Carl Karcher and his wife Margaret took out a $311 loan on their car and added that to their $15 in savings and bought a hot dog cart. Now this hot dog cart sold hot dogs, chili dogs, and tamales for 10 cents each. And their total sales their first day were $14.75, which means for a little hot dog cart, they sold 147 items. Or about that. So that's pretty impressive for a little hot dog cart on your first day. And with the success of that hot dog cart, they were able to open a hot dog stand on the corner of Central and Florence in Los Angeles, California. And by the way, that hot dog stand actually reminds me a lot of that first In-N-Out stand that we went to go visit when we went to go see the first In-N-Out. And I'll put that description down in the link below if you're interested in that. But back to Carl's Jr. In 1945, the couple then opened Carl's Drive-In Barbecue in Anaheim, California. And in 1956, they opened their first two Carl's Jr.'s. It was actually called Carl's Jr.'s this time, and that was because it was a smaller version of the full-service Carl's Drive-In Barbecue. And the location of these first two were in Anaheim and Brea, California, which are pretty close towns to each other. Now, both of these first locations are gone today. The original Carl's Jr. building in Anaheim was donated to the Boniface Catholic Church and is now used for their Bethany Hall. And I think this transition happened in the 90s, but I couldn't quite get a clear answer on that. Now, the original location in Brea, I haven't been able to find any information on other than that it's closed. So the current credited flagship Carl's Jr. is located at 1200 North Harbor Boulevard, and that's the one we're gonna go to today. So here we are at the corner of Romnea, or which this side is now known as Carl Karcher Way, and Harbor Boulevard. And here's the actual location. And once you get there, it doesn't look really too different than any other Carl's Jr., except for there is a plaque up front that says, Carl Karcher Enterprises had its beginning on July 17th, 1941, when Carl and Margaret Karcher purchased a hot dog cart in Los Angeles for $326. On January 16, 1945, the young couple opened Carl's Drive-In Barbecue at the corner of Romnea and Palm, later named Harbor Boulevard, in Anaheim, California. In 1956, the restaurant moved across Romnea to its present location, where it has operated under different themes and names since then. We thank you and all of our previous guests over the years for the pleasure of being able to serve you, and we thank God for the opportunity to do so in this great country of ours. And here's our actual ordering menu. We ordered 2 sandwiches and a meal, and as you can see, the price difference for 3 items is a lot different now than it was with their original 10 cents. And that price difference actually made me realize in editing land here that we got charged for an extra sandwich. We'd only ordered 2 sandwiches and the 1 guacamole meal, but there's still an extra charge of $6.99 on there for an extra guacamole sandwich that we did not order and also did not receive. However, I'm very glad we did not receive that extra sandwich they charged us for, because the one I got was so gross. And something has to taste pretty bad to make this amount of guacamole not make something taste better. And I really tried my hardest to give this sandwich the benefit of the doubt, but there was just chunks of fat in this sandwich, and it was very gristly. The layers of chicken were separated by layers of gristle in there. It was just a very low quality meat, And I actually gave the sandwich to Jason, who was sitting right next to me, to see if he would like it, and he wouldn't even eat it. So that says something. So I spent the rest of our mealtime just eating the fries. And this concludes our trip to the first or longest running Carl's Jr. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.